Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I got something I want to share with you. Please give me your attention. It's very important to me, and I hope to you. I've had a consultation with my advisors, and they've suggested that my advocacy for you at the presidential election of 2020, that if you feel that you have an idea of a system that operates better than what the Republicans and the Democrats are producing, then write your name in as a protest statement indicating that they failed you. And my advisors are saying that since I am out here and I'm saying the things that I do say, and that I'm advocating something that I hope people agree with, that perhaps even one more time I should ask that they write my name in and give me a chance to, if possible, to represent it at a larger scale. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have given that some thought, and I was listening to John Bolton last night. He was being questioned as to whether he was going to vote for Donald Trump. He said he would not, and he wouldn't vote for Biden, that he would actually find some conservative individual and write his name in. So that did give me a little taste of trying to use those extra votes, but that had not been my plan. I never thought of that. However, the idea has emboldened me to this extent. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends and my sisters and brothers, I've been out here for 40 years, committed for 40 years, because I've wanted to see a better world. I wanted to see at least a better American. I wanted to see a better America for the American citizen. And I haven't been satisfied with any of this stuff. And for the past 40 years, I've tried to introduce a new idea to America, one that requires some major changes, but it would produce those kinds of things that people say they want, things that people pray for. And so, let's see, I have gone throughout the country seeking to get the opinion of people to see what their interests were. I used to be a pulpit preacher, and I used to hear people bring their requests of prayers all the time. And they weren't new requests. They were the same. You look across the board, the people were having the same problems. And when you take it to the Lord in prayer, the answer that would always come back to me is that the answer was in our hands. The answer is in our hands. The answer, again, is in our hands. So when I come back and tell the people the answer is in our hands, they don't understand it. And so I've been trying to find out and ask God to help me to understand the method, what must be used. So what I've done in these 40 years, I have, I ran for president of the United States back in 88 or some time back there. Running against Jesse Jackson and Dukakis, Bush, because their ideas just didn't measure up. That didn't stop me. I had to run as a write-in, incidentally. So I didn't mind running as a write-in because the Democratic Party would not accept this. The Republican Party, I knew we wouldn't accept this. I even tried with the Democratic Party once when I ran for mayor as a Democrat. I got beat out by Norm Coleman, who incidentally, after winning, became a Republican. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I ran against Bill Clinton twice. Had to do it as a write-in. But Bill Clinton's ideas and plans and proposals didn't measure up. I ran against George W. Bush, ran against Obama twice. Why do I keep running? Because these guys don't measure up. I run as a write-in because that's the statement that I want to leave. That's the statement of me. I'm not going for this stuff just because everybody else is going for it. I'm not going to be a slave just willingly. No, I'm not going to throw in the towel and say, okay. No, but I keep fighting on behalf of the people. See, if I just stood up for myself, even though I said I wasn't going to, you know, I would, and wanted to succeed, I would have to yield to what they permit in order for me to succeed. And so for me, to succeed means that we all have to succeed. Because the one thing that works for me is the same thing that will work for all of us. And the things that would keep me out will keep all of you out. Maybe not at one time, but in time. And who knows, maybe at one time. And so I've continuously fought to make this a better country for us all. Well, as I said, I ran for governor once in the state of Minnesota. And I ran for a United States Senator out of the state of Minnesota at least twice. And all I could talk about is the same things I've been talking to you now. I want that word out there. There were a couple of times, ladies and gentlemen, where one of my most, things that I feel best about is when I was in the military. And I saw George Bush's, Ronald Reagan. These guys are so interconnected. I saw Ronald Reagan's policies and how they affected the poor, how they affected the minority. Made me embarrassed to wear the uniform. I refused to take orders. I wanted and I got an other than honorable separation. Now, why did I want that? I denied the benefits that you get for being in the military. Why would I want that? Because I want me to be honest with myself. I'm not satisfied with the way things are going on. And this is my statement to myself that I'm not going to put up with it. Now, if you want to know how I felt about the situation, I'll tell you, it's on my wall, the wall of my heart. I stood up against this stuff. Yes, I did. Then I've done other things. I've seen this nation walk over people and rip them out of their homes and stuff like this, and people wondering what they could do. Politics wasn't working. And I tried to tell the people I got a master that tells me these things, but you got to listen. It requires a change. I even violated the law, broke a law, against the state of Minnesota. Yes, I did. For what? Because the people seem like they're deaf. You seem like you're deaf and you can't hear. So I tried to do something that you seem to be focused on that would get your attention. Oh, this guy's out there, especially in the media. This guy's out there saying he wants to make the world better, and now he's out here stealing. Oh man, I was counting on that. But they ignored it. They wouldn't even tell you about it. But I wanted you to come so I could tell you the story that I've been telling you all the time, and want you to know that what the promise is worth whatever I was going through. And then at the same time have it documented in the records of the courts. That's for me. That's for me. And if it means anything else to anybody else, then it means something to you as well. But it is me as an expression of the power that made me. I still want to see all of us living happily. Well, each time the write-in candidate. And so now I've had a blessing. We as a people of the world have had a blessing. This event that happened in Minnesota, the killing of George Floyd, it was held up before the world. So the whole entire world can actually see what's going on in the world. The whole entire world got a chance to see what's going on in the world, not just in America, not just in Russia, North Korea, and China. It happened everywhere where man rules. There's somebody on the top exerting power over others and being biased in the application and causing so much pain and so much suffering. That was lifted up before the world to see it. And you saw how it was happening. You saw the ones that in power. Doesn't matter what your shade is, whoever's in power, that's how you act. White, black, brown, gold, yellow, whoever's in power, this is the way you act. And pain and suffering is the evidence of your failure. Pain and suffering is the evidence of your failure. And policemen and National Guards and the United States military and all of your forces designed to force people to do it. Your jails and your prisons will not prevent these things from occurring because it is the seed that has been planted within your system, and it's going to constantly grow. And if you don't want it, there's going to have to be a change. Well, this is what you see. The brother representing all of that pain, all of that suffering throughout the world, crying out to whomever will help, crying out to politicians, crying out to the powers that be, crying out to anybody that's close around, crying out for reprieve, crying out for help. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Out of everything that we are doing on earth in connection with the pain and the suffering and the powers that be, all of the stuff that we are doing to deal with this, nothing is being done that would eradicate it. Not one single thing is being done that would eradicate it. At least that's the message of what the world was presented in the murder of George Floyd. All of the people with the cameras, all of the people observing and saying, stop, you're killing him, all of the good people, all of the church people, even people who don't really care. But their response to the situation represents everything that all of the people on earth are doing in response to the situations that we find ourselves in on this earth. And they have nothing to resolve the problem. But George Floyd, before he passed away from here, they say he cried out to his mom. Now, what does mom represent? Mom represents the one that brought him into the world. Mom represents that which brought humankind into the world. Now George had to leave us to satisfy the statement that this is how far the powers that be are willing to go to maintain their power. That is why in America today, you got, everybody knows that Trump is a liar, he's a thief, he's evil. But there are a lot of people in this country that wants evil to control. They don't believe in goodness. It's like they've never seen it. They've never experienced it. The only good they've ever seen was a result of abuse, either being abused or abusing others. This is what they want, evil. And the Democratic Party are hoping that it's just a few more people want to resist evil that will add to them and keep Donald Trump out of office. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this to you. Donald Trump is evil. The Democratic Party, they really can't stand up against Donald Trump, and this is why. Donald Trump is immoral. Now, we all are. Okay, so I don't want to suggest that we aren't. But many of us haven't stooped that low. So are the Democrats and the Democratic Party. So they really can't attack like they're trying to defeat, because they have a deficiency on the moral scale, just like Donald Trump. They don't have the moral advantage because they do the same thing. These systems, they do the same thing. And so if you try to stand up and attack Donald Trump and the Republicans and the conservatives, all they do is expose what the Democrats have been doing, and the people now left more confused than ever because they seem that they constantly have to choose between the two evils. And so they go after what they call the lesser of two evils. For me, ladies and gentlemen, my advocacy has been leading to this moment in time when George Floyd cried out. He was asking for the power, speaking to the rest of us, letting us know that if anything was going to resolve the kind of situation that the world was experiencing at that moment, it was going to come from outside of the box. It was going to come from a power that you can't see, you cannot touch it, and you cannot feel it. So it won't be a human. It'll be an idea that people will accept and that people will give life to that idea. And then, so ladies and gentlemen, the idea can't be any better than every human being on earth having their needs, their wants, and their desires met. The idea can be no better when it comes down to human beings, that those things that are essential for survival, that are common amongst every last one of us, like food, clothing, and shelter, education and health care, and all the other extra ideals that manifest themselves through our being. I mean, what can be better than that? What can be better than that which in itself creates peace and prosperity for us all? Freedom, joy of life, and the fulfillment of our dreams. And all of these being met because the power that we can't see has engaged in each of us a desire, something to do while here. We're not just here to be, even a tree, though it stands still, is doing something. It's holding the soil in place, it's contributing to the oxygen that we breathe, looking good, all of those things. So we're not just here to be a problem. We came to add to the solution. But, well, I'm not going to go into why we've been sidetracked. The point of it is, this is the idea that we're asking all people to embrace and allow that idea to live in you and stop doing anything that would cause any pain, any suffering to any one of us. That would, this, my friends, would eliminate having to lie, having to cheat, having to steal, having to kill, having to terrorize, having to create conditions for racism and bigotry and hatred. All of that put aside. Why? Because for some strange reason, we have seen our whole world through the George Floyd murder. The whole entire combination of life's existence from the beginning to this point was wrapped up in what, right there in those few moments, ladies and gentlemen. Well, 8 minutes and 46 seconds or 9 minutes, whatever. The whole human existence was put before us. You know, television, they say spread the news all over the world. Television, telephones, internet, all over the world. And at that moment, the whole world sees the world. And I call it Judgment Day. I call it Judgment Day. And what is the judgment? The judgment is you see the powers that be. Do you want to maintain a consistency attached to that? Be a part of that? You saw the inability of all of what exists, even the Democratic Party and any other party, all that exists have failed to prevent this from coming to this point. And when it got to this point, they were unable to prevent it. So, what are you going to do? Do you want to stay here, or do you want to join life? This is the judgment. Do you want to join life? This is the judgment. Do you want to join life? And to that degree, and to that, I wouldn't mind your writing my name, Eddie Marcus, in as the next president of the United States. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you to go in this thing blindly. Don't be crazy. I have posted a 2020 plan to make America beautiful again. It's on Facebook and YouTube, and I encourage each of you to pull it up, see what it is about. Or if you can't find it, respond to one of my posts, and I will do whatever I can to get it to you. I want you to know I'm not asking you to go out and raise any money from me. Ideas don't have to be sold. They just have to be accepted. And so this one right here, it's about your choice. That, what I speak to you about, is already my choice, and I have 40 years of backing to prove it for me. So that's my statement. That's my statement to the world. That's who I am. That's as the sun is shining on me today. What you have seen, what I put out there, is me. And there ain't no shame in my game. And I declare that that sun, this earth that you're living on, was made to give you joy. So, if you want to stay on what you have seen, if you accept this hell the way it is, then God ain't mad with you. He's giving you a choice. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, which represents everything I've shared with you. Goodbye.